Trauma shapes how your brain interacts with the external world. And from this perspective, it's no different from other thoughts and other habits and other things that your brain might do from the Buddhist philosophy perspective. So I want to talk a little bit about that in this video. So you have a trigger for the trauma. Most people do. And now the trigger of the trauma activates with your recognition. The physical condition for the trauma may be present, but if I'm not aware of it, it won't trigger. So for example, suppose my dad beat me. He didn't. But suppose my dad beat me and he always beat me from behind. And now he could be behind me, but if I am not aware of it, then I don't necessarily have the response. And now what makes it tricky is because of our experiences, especially traumatic experiences, with enough reinforced repetitions in the case of CPTSD, or if the attachment to the original event is so strong because it was such a profoundly unconscious shifting kind of a big traumatic event, the trigger can not be present, but your mind can suddenly react as if it was there. So my dad might not be here, but my mind is like, what if my dad is here? Then I have to be ready for it, right? So in essence, the lack of the trigger can become the trigger, which makes this a little bit more complicated. But nevertheless, it is an operation of the mind. And now the good news is, because this is an operation of the mind, you can have a different relationship with it. And now let's talk a little bit about how to do that introspection. When you are aware that this traumatic kind of a response that you have is an inner working of your mind, this takes some more repeated recognitions, intentional recognition, for you to objectively see that, oh, there's nothing inherent about my dad's presence that requires me to act like this, because it doesn't happen universally for everybody else or my siblings. So something must be specifically inside my head. When you can come to a true integration of that, now, then you can start being curious about it. Okay, so the trigger, my dad's presence, it invokes something. What does it invoke? What does it invoke? Is it fear of physical pain? Is it fear of abandonment? Is it fear of death? In these inquiries, you find specifically what you are triggered with. And once you find the actual source of the issue, then you can start thinking about, okay, why is this such a big deal to me? Of all the things that are present in my life right now, like this mic, like this webcam, like all the art in the back and all the toys and all the books, those things could be occupying my mind right now. But they're all in my life, nevertheless, like anything else. But why does this always get my attention? What is the reason behind that? When you can be curious about that and start untangling layer after layer after layer after layer after layer of the reasons why your mind feels the need to attach to this specific target, that is when you can intentionally make the choice. Do I want to continue this or not? And this is grossly oversimplified, but that is the overall approach of how you redefine your experience with trauma from a Buddhist philosophy perspective.